and I'm going to do a continuation of the video that I made the other day, Sexual Energy Secrets to Unlock My Powers. This will be part 2. I'm going to give you some links below so you can check out more information, but I'm going to give you just the overview of some of the things that I want to discuss. Let's see where I am. I'm at my favorite spot. I love to come out here and just enjoy this. And so let's see if I can do this without having to squint too badly. So I want to talk about some of the pitfalls and some of the things that you can do to really enhance your power when you're doing all this. So the pitfall number 1 is going to be what I call false start ghettos. And those are those instant dopamine fixes that you're looking for, that you're addicted to, that sabotage your success. For instance, pornography on the internet. It gives you that instant rush of dopamine. So what it does is it robs your ability to go after the things that really matter. The things that you really want are, worthy of your pursuit, but all of these false start operations are set up in the place to give you a counterfeit. And so what it does is it gives you a quick fix, and then after that you are trapped because you don't have any more desire. You've gotten your needs met in an inappropriate way. Okay, so these false start ghettos they're a really common thing. Sugar, food addiction, alcohol, pornography, surfing the internet looking for more and more answers, with feeling that you're not worthy, you're not good enough, so you scour the internet looking for more information, more and more and more and more and more, but never actually executing on anything. Okay, that's a sign that you're caught up in those. And at my website, MatthewDavidHurtado.com, you can look at Operation Drip Feed, and I talk all about that stuff. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the idea that the Delilah spell, okay, Samson and Delilah, it's a story of your power and how you lose power. Okay, so Delilah represents the world out there, the world of form. And when you give yourself all of your focus and attention, when it captivates your attention, you look away from the presence I am, God within. And when you look away from that presence, you have committed adultery. That's what real adultery means. I am is the power within. It is the living God within you. And so when you entertain a false God, okay, especially with graven images, watching all of this stuff that's happening and, all the chaos, that's not indicative of God's nature at all. That's a counterfeit God. That is the Delilah spell. So whenever you get caught up in that, your energy gets drained and you lose power. You've given your power away to the outer world. So one of the best techniques that I've ever discovered that I teach at my website is called Self-Entrainment Technique. I teach it at all the workshops. I used to keep it exclusively to the workshops, but now it's online. You can do it online as well. Self-Entrainment Technique. It's incredibly powerful. I use it to keep my vibration where I want it all the time. So the next thing I want to talk to you about, this is going to be really exciting. You're going to like this. There is a book. Okay, not a series of books, not this and that. I did not write the book. I'm not pumping my own books, okay? Even though I think my books are incredible, you can have my books for free, all right? You can text in for those. The text links are below. But this book is everything you would ever need to know about sexuality. Like what all of the rituals are that are performed on a mass scale to keep control of the system, the different frequencies involved, images, the logos, the positions, everything you could imagine. Now, because I did not write the book, I don't feel it's fair for me to, steal the content and give that away to you, but the Kindle version is like $9, And I'm telling you, the link is below. I'm not going to tell you who it is or what the name of the book is. It's a secret. Okay? But I will tell you he's, part of the same order that I am. And I got to meet him personally face-to-face a couple years ago when we were sworn into the order. And this is very, very high-level stuff. This is the stuff. If you're looking for the rituals, you're looking for what everything means, how to use the power in certain ways. Like I'll give you an example. Every time I'm going to start a new business, I use one of these rituals, okay, within the confines of a healthy relationship. Because the deal is it creates power, a lot of power. So I do that every time I start a new business. Okay, now you can know for sure that the powers that be are using these rituals, okay? The person who wrote this book is very, very, very wise and very high up, okay? Now, with that said, that's about all I'll give you on that. But I wanted to just share with you that information is out there. It's very concise, it's very condensed, and the stuff works if you will apply it. So I want to talk to you about some of the codes, the culture codes in the society that you're dealing with. So Dr. Clotaire Rapaille, he's the guy that all the big Fortune 500 companies hire him to crack the reptilian brain code for solving their marketing problems. And, enough said, right? You can look him up, find out what he does, but he talks about this. We live in the West, the United States. The culture code for sex in the United States is violence. That's why we use words like, I'm going to nail that person. I'm going to, bang that person hard. I'm going to, all these words, right? Well, the code is violence, okay? And you're also probably under the code of what love means. And the code is false expectation. That's kind of messed up. We fall in love based on false expectations. Until you become conscious, until you rise above being, just another programmed automaton in the matrix. Once you have the knowledge, you can never unknow this knowledge. So there's two codes right there. And, the other thing is that the American code, the code for the GUN is penis in America. That's the code. GUN equals American penis. That's what it means. Okay, so that's why whenever they want to take that stuff away, what happens is because we're tribal by nature, the reptilian brain in the American spirit, the underlying spirit of the culture that's been programmed, that's what you're targeting the American penis. And so if you want to cut it off, you're going to find a heck of a lot of blowback. Okay, and so that's why it's virtually impossible, no matter what's done, to ever eradicate that from our culture. Now, just a couple codes, remember, is false expectation equals love. So if you know this, then you don't have to fall into that. Like, why do I have such strong feelings for that person? Well, do you feel a false expectation? Are you missing something? Is there something that maybe they're like 2 steps out of your league, or maybe you're hoping that they're going to leave their other person to be with you or whatever? Is there some false expectation that's causing you to be unconsciously addicted to this person, to a sense of where you feel a feeling of love? Those are worth looking at. And the other one is the equals violence in our culture. Sex equals violence. That is so messed up, but that's the way it is. So when you know these things, then you can understand how these reptilian brains are operating. So I thought you'd want to touch up on that. It's pretty cool. The other thing is, I talked about in the last videos, you can use frequencies and you can use logos, things like that. One of the things that's easiest to do is just get the audio I made, text the word billionaire to 608-530-6658. It's down below. And you can get that new audio. I've been listening to it every night, and I've seen a lot of amazing things happen already in just about a week. Okay, now, see, the reason why it works so well for me is because I do everything on a ritual basis. It's what you do daily that determines what you become eventually. It's your daily habits that matter. So I do it right before bed. And also, get this, you look for the differences and then you celebrate every difference. So when you're doing things, even if you're using, sexual energy techniques, like when I start a new business, I use a said specific technique. I'm not going to tell you which one it is, but it's in that book in the link below. It's my favorite book of all time. It's the one I always go back to when I'm...
Hello, it's Amanda with Alpha Upgrade. This is my favorite ritual. Mocaine is a chocolate fat-burning energy-boosting formula that allows you to crush it. Mocaine is packed with adaptogens, minerals, and vitamins to help you combat stress, always on your A game. It has brain-boosting power ingredients like bacopa, L-triosine, and more for the ultimate dopamine rush. Hence the name, Mocaine.
So it's my favorite book of all time. It's the one I always go back to when I'm refreshing my memory. And I use a technique, I've used a few of them multiple times, and some of the symbols that are in the back of the book. And I'll tell you what, it's mind-blowing. Now, in addition to that, as I look for the differences. So when a new thing shows up, even the slightest new thing, putting gratitude on the little differences makes them big differences. For instance, start a new business and I say, wow, I got a couple sales today. I get extremely grateful about it and I start to celebrate the heck out of it. And then what happens is those couple sales get to become, maybe a dozen sales or more, because focus and energy and intention, all these things line up. So it's super cool. What else do I got on this list here? Oh yeah, let's talk about hormones. Hormones have consciousness. Hormones have consciousness. What is the one thing that's been adulterated more than anything in the physical bioelectric meat sack is the hormone structure, okay? The estrogen mimicking xenoestrogens and all these things that have caused a lot of low testosterone in men, high testosterone in a lot of women, actually. It's like the inversion effect. And you get this beta male phenomenon. Beta male. That's actually a hormone thing. It's because they have consciousness. So what do? Well, the first key is you have to understand, like the work of the late Dr. Fred Bell, is that minerals and enzymes are the top of the food chain. Minerals. Most minerals are depleted from the soil and they're not replaced. I have a link below. It's a funnel I built a couple years ago. I've been on this stuff for years and years and years. I always stay on it to keep my testosterone in check. Not because I'm taking testosterone, but I know that minerals are the top of the food chain, and without mineral adequacy in your body, hormones can't function properly, because minerals and enzymes, and then you have your proteins, then you have your vitamins, then you have your hormones. All of these things fall in underneath minerals. So when you have mineral deficiencies, guess what? You got problems. That link, monotomia.com, I don't care if you buy the products that I'm, branded or not through Complete Essentials. They're the ones that I scoured for. That stuff works. This stuff's amazing. And you can look at all the research of Ken Rohla, R-O-H-L-A. Look at the monotomics and all that. I make my own in a blender. I use magnets. So what I do is I take minerals, okay, and then I put magnets on there, and I even have a base that has a magnetic spinner. I'll put that link below too for Amazon, the one that we use. And then I just put it on there and I spin it. And what happens is that magnetic field releases single atoms. Okay, that's monoatomic, single atoms. And those feed the chakra systems in the body, the electric hubs, bioelectric hubs. That creates the energy field. All right, big secret. Tie that in with intermittent fasting, okay? Fasting for the majority of the day, 18 hours, and then like an 8-hour eating window, or even longer, where you have maybe a 20-hour and then a 4-hour window. So you got like 16-hour fast, 8-hour window, or you go like 18 or 20-hour fast, and then the rest of the time you eat. So for instance, when I had the most ripped, lean, muscular physique, and you can see a picture of it in my book, Ask Until It Is Given. That was my #1 international bestseller. Take it for free if you want to read that book. It'll blow your mind, especially the part on the cryptocurrencies. because it's becoming that time again, and that's why you see the Bitcoin was on the what do you call those, thumbnail. Anyway, I have a great chapter on cryptocurrencies in there, but I also have a picture of when I was at my leanest, and that was at age 40, I think 41 years old, and I was 5% body fat. I could see the veins coming all the way up, training like a pro athlete, still squatting above 400 pounds, and benching 350 no problem. You see these things? That is, the human body is so amazing when you know what it drives its power from. And I just want to make it simple. Without minerals, So anyway, you can text in and get that book below for free if you want. Ask until it's given. I even talk about it in the book. I talk about the minerals. It's really, really powerful stuff because it all ties in with this energy that we're talking about. Everything is energy, and you got to understand that hormones have consciousness. That's a big, big idea. So I've talked about everything I want to talk about. I don't want to make this a super long video because you have to do your research. You have to look at this stuff yourself. But this is, imagine if it's like me talking to, if you came to say, mentor me on what you know, I'd say, here's the ideas. Now you go dig in and you research them and start to use them, and you'll find out for yourself. Hope you enjoyed this, and more to come. Take care. God bless.
Hello, I'm Julie with Allow Ministries on behalf of Matthew David Hurtado. Are you ready to end self-sabotage, procrastination, and distraction? Clarity, certainty, and a proven plan of action is what it takes to get anything you want in life. Training is the answer. Matthew David Hurtado's Spiritual Millionaire Workshop is the one-step solution that finally puts you in control of your destiny. What Matthew discovered about building a 7-figure business and perfect well-being when he was bedridden and bankrupt with Lyme disease is that mentorship is success without the wait. It works. At allowuniversity.com, you'll discover how to walk in victory. Learn how to prosper in every area with unstoppable daily habits and a step-by-step training to build your dream business immediately following the event, a success training for a lifetime of achievement. Walk in financial increase, living a life you love. Go to allowuniversity.com and say yes to your destiny.